So, like we've discussed in our previous meetings, we talked about the five most important steps that each undergraduate looking for study abroad programs in the US should need to go through in order to make his applications very simple and easy. And then, like we discussed earlier, I wouldn't like to go back, but let me just give a brief of what we discussed in in our previous meeting, in our previous live sessions. Sorry, I said meeting. All right. So what we discussed in our previous live session was first you need to decide on what program you want to study. As you need to make your research to decide on what course of study you want to join. What is it, a degree? Is it a associate programs? You need to decide on that. That was the first step. Then a lot of other things, like I also mentioned about writing your SAT examination such that your application can stand out. Because I also cited out that this course which you are applying for, there are numerous other people out there who are also applying to secure this same position. So that means you have to make sure that what you do in your application stands out. So whichever way you are going to do it, you have to make sure that your application stands out. All right. So, and I also mentioned about extracurricular activities. Some of us, we engage in one extracurricular or the other extracurriculars. So that is also going to be helpful in your study abroad program application because they want to know if this student is someone that's going to come and impact in one because they are not looking for someone that's just going to be eating into the system. They want someone that's going to be adding to the system. So I hope that point is also clear. And I also mentioned finally something about your visa application program because for you to leave your country, like in my country, it's not something anyone can just wake up early in the morning. Okay, I'm going out. I want to go to Ghana, or I want to go to Canada. I want to go to Singapore. No, no, no. You can't do that. So you have to follow the system gradually so that you end up being successful in your study abroad application. All right, so today we're going to do something different. I'm going to be taking you on the topic which we call researching your options. Now, I want you to think deeply within you and try to understand what this means. Researching your options. All right, hello, hello. Yes, I can see you. That's in this live session. That's good. All right, can you please tell us what's your name? Yeah, I would love to know who is watching with us. All right, so, all right, sorry for that. Let's continue. So, like I said, researching your options. So, this is very crucial because you can't just wake up in the morning and say you are going to the farm whereby you don't know which farm you are going to. Or you can't just wake up in the morning and say you are going to the hospital whereby you don't know which hospital you are going to. So this is something we all understand. Just the same way, you can't just sit down at your home and say you are traveling to study in the US when you haven't known exactly what you want to go to the US to study. So that is what this topic is all about. I hope that is clear. Sorry, I'm not going to be really fast or try to go following each one of us pace. All right. So if you are with me, please let me know you are with me. All right. So researching your options, I'm going to give you, yeah, am I making sense? You also need to help yourself in one or two ways or the other. That is, you can do some on campus jobs like you can work at a cafe, you can work at a coffee shop, you can do any little mini job that you know you can do as along with your study program. But make sure that doing this job it doesn't interfere with your studies, it doesn't make you less focused in your studies. You understand? So you have to take care of, you have to put things in prioritization. That is, you have to prioritize which is more important and also give attention as it's duly necessary. Is that understood? All right, let's go to the next part. Now, we're talking about accreditation. Now, in terms of accreditation, you have to check institutions to know if they are accredited institutions or not. So, in terms of, because you can't just pick any program of study without fully knowing if it's accredited, if it's an accredited institution or it's not. So I'm going to leave a link to a site which I use to check if a program is accredited or not. So that you must make sure you check if your institution that you wanted to choose is an accredited institution or it's not an accredited institution. Like in our previous live video, I showed a session, I mentioned an app, a site which you can use to check study abroad institutions in the US. And I would like you to go check it out. But also I will say it right here. So the name of this institution, the name of sorry. The name of this site is what we call the Common App application. So I'm giving it as a bonus for those watching till now. All right. This Common App application is what you can use to simply apply to as much institutions of your choice as you wish. Because let me tell you something. I said earlier in this video, you can't put all your chicks in one basket. It's not possible. So how does this apply in this scenario? Now, you can't apply to only one institution and expect, sorry, and expect that you get admitted. It's not possible. So the best thing you do, you apply to more than one. You apply to 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 institutions. Now, this is the aim. Listen to it. This is the secret. I'm going to leave this secret for only those watching till this time. The secret is that applying to 5 institutions, if eventually none of them calls you, is a zero. Applying to 10, eventually just one calls you, is a little addition. Applying to 20, you can eventually get 3 to call you. That's a plus. So consider the fact that you applied to even more than 20, 30 institutions. That's going to give you more advantage. You can end up getting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 institutions calling on you to come and check in if you'll be able to accept to study in their institution. So that's a bonus tip I'm giving to you guys. All right. Now, what does this common app help us do? This common app institution, sorry, I said institution. This common app is a site that can help you simultaneously apply to multiple colleges in the US. So once you head to the site, I'm going to drop the link below. Once you head into the site in this common app, you can begin applying to as much institutions in as much as you fill in as much as you check each institution's requirements, sorry, and fill them as necessary as they require you to. So you can use that common app application. All right. Then let's go to the next part. Yeah. Welcome all those who are joining us for the first time. Yeah, this is Education USA. Yeah. All right. We are looking at the location. Now, this is very, very important. Please listen to this. Now, take for instance, you travel to a snowy area for the first time. That is an area where snow falls. You travel there for the first time. So, how do you think you would react to that? If you're a kind of person that you are not used to being in a snow area, and for the first time you end up in a snow area, or you travel to, let's use you travel to a desert area, a very hot region in the world. Now, for instance, you are kind of a person that you are not used to being in that kind of place. So how do you react to it? Like, how would your body system react? So this is also something you need to consider in your application to study abroad, because you can't tell me that you are you are originally staying in a region where there is no single snow falling, and then you apply to a college that has where that location has snow falling every single day. I doubt if you might be able to survive there. The probability of you surviving is going to be very low. So this is a tip for you guys. You have to research the location of where you want to apply to before finally making your decision. This is very important. Please take note of this. After you research your location, do you want to go to a snow area? Do you want to go to a desert area? So this is very important. You need to decide right now before applying. Now let's go to the next part. Size of institution. Now, all right. Let me take you guys to my primary school days. Yeah. Um in our primary school days, we are usually about 20, 30 per class. Yeah, I said it, per class. So, in terms of the size of institution, you need to consider what type of institution do you want to be in. Are you a kind of person that you can strive, you can survive in a class of 200? Can you survive in a class of 10? Can you survive in a class of 50? So these are the questions that need to come to your mind when applying to study in any university abroad, in a study abroad program. You need to consider the size, what size of class do they have in this college? Is it a college where I can survive in? That is a very important part. All right, yeah. So in our next video, we're going to be looking at how to use, how to make use of the common application. I'm going to be breaking down to you guys the simple trick that you are going to use so that you can make sure that you hit about 10 colleges in per month. That means you apply to 10 colleges every month, meaning in 5 months, you will have applied to 50 colleges. Yeah, that's it. And that is going to increase your chance of getting admitted into your institution of your choice. So if you learned something from this live stream, I would love you to write a comment down below. Just tell us a little bit of what you got from this. And also don't forget to leave a like in this video. Yeah. I love you all. See you.